midnight, when the clock strikes 12, a special type of film culture comes out to play. The culture of the midnight movie. Now, midnight audiences usually flock to strange and unusual films like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Pink Flamingos, and Todd Browning's Freaks. Midnight shows allowed these films to build their cult audiences. One of the most famous of all midnight movies was David Lynch's Eraserhead. With Eraserhead, we get a dark, twisted, nightmarish film that takes traditional values like family, marriage, and childbirth and turns them into something twisted and grotesque. In doing so, Eraserhead has become a cult classic. But how does the film do all these things? Well, just give me a few minutes of your time, and let's go back and take a closer look at David Lynch's Eraserhead. So Eraserhead tells the story of a timid loser named Henry, a man trapped in a bizarre industrialized wasteland. Now Henry's world becomes even more miserable when he learns that his girlfriend is pregnant and that he's about to become a new father. Now because the film is so strange and surreal, it's open to many different interpretations. But I just want to offer one reading of this film and suggest that Eraserhead is a movie about the fear of fatherhood. Specifically, the fear of sexual reproduction. Now, throughout Eraserhead, things like family, sex, and childbirth are seen as something grotesque and unpleasant. In fact, the idea of birth and pregnancy as something to be feared is shown throughout the film. In fact, Eraserhead opens with a truly bizarre image of the character of Henry floating as a strange sperm-like creature emerges from his mouth. Later in the film, right before Henry learns he's about to become a new father, he sees a dog nursing an extremely large litter of newborn pups. Another grotesque pregnancy scene is when Henry sits down to dinner, and we see a chicken carcass start to bleed from between its legs. But probably the most disturbing reference to birth in the film, and this fear of fatherhood, is the creepy, inhuman child that Henry's girlfriend gives birth to. Now this child, if we can call it a child, is a swaddled bundle of human parts with a snake-like face. And strangely enough, the baby even resembles the sperm-like creature that we've seen Henry expel from his body earlier. Now throughout the film, this child refuses to eat and cries incessantly. Henry learns that his sperm child is even struggling to breathe and develops painful sores. Now he attempts to take care of this child, but eventually he thinks that in order to preserve his own sanity, he must kill his own baby. Now this nightmarish portrayal of parenthood is important because usually in our culture, fatherhood and children are seen as something positive. Think about this. We celebrate the idea of childbirth and family. In fact, at the time this film was made, David Lynch, the director, was about to become a new father himself. So Eraserhead might be composed of Lynch's fears of what fatherhood and children might be like. As opposed to a fulfilling, loving process, Eraserhead sees childhood as the stuff that nightmares are made of, product of a grotesque, biological process known as sexual reproduction. Honestly, I feel like I've only scratched the surface of this movie. Eraserhead is a very dark and strange film, and it's not for everybody. The film has amassed a very large cult following and helped inaugurate the career of David Lynch, one of our most unique filmmakers. If you're an adventurous viewer, I encourage you to seek it out. Thanks for listening. Please post comments below, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.